Dreamings of a Football God, Part 3. I had a dream that I was going to unite the tribes. Black, brown, white, didn't matter. I was going to cross all barriers, unite the tribes with money, bring them together, stop all the fighting, make life harmonious, peaceful, wonderful for all. And that's what money can do if used correctly. I can make the fountain of youth, everybody. Put stevia in water. Put a half teaspoon to a teaspoon of stevia in half a blender or a blender full of water. Turn it on. A half blender. Water will triple in size. Fill a blender up with white soup. That's a natural gas. Turn the blender off. You'll see soap float at the end of the blend. Get all that soap out. It turns water into what acts like the fountain of youth. Curing my uncle of 6 cancerous breast tumors in 4 months, 74 pounds of flabby fat in 4 months. Type 2 diabetes was gone within 2 weeks. Can you imagine the money from bottling a liquid that acted like that up and selling it? A full blender, turning the blender on with stevia, is going to cause water to split and blow the top of your blender off. You'll see it like I saw it for the first time. Water gone, a white soup cascading all over your kitchen sink. Amazing. I knew exactly what I had when I first saw it. I knew it was cold fission, not cold fusion, which is like confusion, which is what the rich do to keep us, the people, down. To keep us warring within ourselves. Dreamings of a football god. I was a football god. Even at Notre Dame, I dominated. See the play. See practice film of me covering Ricky Waters man for man and shutting him down in a scrimmage game that we had. See the play. Did I already say that? That's really all that needs to be said. See the fact that in practice, I dominated a second-round draft pick who played 8 years in the NFL. I fucked Frank Stands up on a regular basis. It wasn't even funny. That's why Lou Holtz had to kick me out the team in the spring so Frank could win his position. I didn't care because by that time I had given up football and chosen boxing. But back to uniting the tribes. All it's going to take is money. Bottle up the fountain of youth and sell it. I'm going to be the richest man on the planet. And with that, I want to stop the warring between the Crips and the Bloods, Snoop Dogg. And I want to stop the warring between the norteños and the serenos. Is there a Mexican figure that I can talk to that would be in touch with the norteños and the serenos, be a bridge, a peacekeeper, somebody that could introduce me to the serenos? Because I know norteños, not all of them, but I became friends with Spider and with Jaime at Sacramento County Jail on 8 West 200. And they were part of the original 13. There's too much fighting going on. There's too many men. Not enough women in positions of power. Not enough women in positions of power in business. Too many men, not enough to do, as if we don't have enough to do to clean up this planet. Instead of CEOs that do nothing but sit on their ass and have other people do their jobs for them, making all the money, why don't we pay good money to people who put on hazard suits and go into landfills and clean up all the toxic plastic that's polluting this earth and leaving microdust of plastic to pollute our water, get into our bodies and make us sick? Why don't we pay them a living wage of $50,000 a year or more? Why? Because all the money is going to the top, to a few who don't deserve it. Hundreds of millions and billions of dollars to one individual. It doesn't make sense. It's like our whole society was modeled on the pyramid. Everybody at the bottom, toiling, working, slaving, pushing up the profit to the top of a very few who, like I said, don't deserve it. And I can end all that. That's what my job is. But back to football. I was a dominant fucking force to any NFL player watching this. I regularly put people out of games and practice with concussions. Yeah, Pat Tillman, God rest his soul, had nothing on me, motherfuckers. Bottom line, I was bigger, faster, and stronger than Pat Tillman. And Pat Tillman was an NFL god. Who chose to throw his life away. Some would say becoming an American hero. I say becoming a foolish example of wasted potential. And to anybody that thinks, oh, he knows not what he speaks of, I know that Chip Beeman, I'm blanking on the other names of guys I played football with that went into the Navy SEALs. But when I was a sophomore, starting on varsity, Rick, Chip, Davey, Matt Mason. Matt Mason, I think, was a SEAL. Matt Mason was a badass. I'll tell you what, Matt Mason, when I'm a billionaire, I'm going to pay your house off because you got my back when my jaw was broken and that Ron Harrow, steroid freak, was trying to fuck with me at that party. It was beautiful how you jabbed him, boom, boom, and then right hand, boom, and knocked him out in my defense. I'll never forget that, brother. And for that, I'm going to bless you with paying your house off and buying you a brand new car. See, when I'm a billionaire, I'm not going to keep all the money to myself in a bank account. You got to understand, when pure H2O catches on for what it is and what it really does, being shot in Encinitas is catching on to the experience. He says amazing stuff about pure H2O, about how he feels better than he has in years, about how his normally his normal shits weren't so normal, and he's soft served now, feeling better than ever. Stevia and pure H2O gets your body working like it should.
Because the nurse is not ready to do your finger stick yet, okay? Let's try to go to our room.
Anyhow, yeah, lots of people know what stevia is. It's a sugar replacement that's 100% natural and 300 times stronger than sugar. So people are using only tiny little dashes to swap out the taste. I'm the guy that figured out that doing massive amounts of stevia, doing a pound a month, will change your lives forever. Like it did for my uncle when he listened to me and was doing a pound a month and cured 6 cancerous breast tumors in 4 months, 74 pounds of flabby fat in 4 months, and type 2 diabetes was gone within 2 weeks. Bottle up a liquid that can do that and sell it, and I'm the richest man on the planet, making Elon Musk look like a pauper. There will be a day in the future when I'm making over $1 billion a day. Yeah, think about it. There's how many billion people in the world? Pure H2O catches on. It's gonna take off to all the sharks. I don't even know all their names. But I'll be on Shark Tank one day asking for the biggest loan they've ever been faced with, asking for the biggest loan they've ever had the opportunity of joining, making big blenders in every city to blend all the toxic shit out of the water that we've been polluting this planet with for how many years now? 80 to 100. I might not even need a loan. I might even get government backing because we have to take the toxins out to save this planet. Maybe I'll get a loan and then charge the government. Who knows? But back to being a football player. It's amazing what you get offered when you're a football god. John McDermott, Notre Dame, booster extraordinaire. It's amazing the jobs that you can get when you're playing football for Notre Dame, playing basketball, and getting paid $13 an hour, base salary, plus trips to all the, he was a lawyer in Southern California, Newport Beach to be exact. And we would get trips, a delivery service for his McDermott and Trainer law firm. And there was weeks when I was making $1,200 to $1,300 a week based on salary and trips. Amazing. Great money for 1985, 86, 87. Great money. Couldn't beat it. Was it 100% legal? Since Cedric Figueroa worked there when he came out. Tim Brown worked there when he came out. I don't know. I never brought that up. That's food for thought for a different story. Anyhow, been shot. I can empathize with what you're going through with Jim McCrans. I sent a message to Jim McCrans, the best man at my wedding, saying it's been too long since we kept in contact, brother. And the next thing I know, he blocked me. Amazing. I can't explain it. Was it Jimmer Sr. or perhaps his son? Not knowing who the fuck I am? Dan motherfucking Quinn. See, Dan Quinn was a legend in San Diego and surrounding areas. People at Torrey Pines knew who the fuck Dan Quinn was. My name went far and wide for being a knockout specialist and for also, well, far and wide for being a knockout specialist, the bad boy extraordinaire. Boogaloo, Mark Boogaloo Begal. Tell the truth about me being the bad boy and when I'm a billionaire, even before I'm a billionaire. I'll cut you a check, put cash in your hand, $1 million. You didn't make jack shit from your bad boy drawing. I heard that you got it for a couple $100 and a sack of weed. You can reap the benefits of your brilliance by telling the truth about Dan Quinn. Anyhow, like I said, I'm going to unite the tribes. Black, brown, white. There's too much division. Too many people scrambling for the scraps from Longshank's table, when it should be us taking a seat at the table and dining from the fare on our own. Which brings me back to the Queen of England passing away at 96 and having this a world fucking event. Who gives a fuck? The lady lived 96 years of pampered royalty, never had to work an honest day in her life, drove around in Bentleys when people are starving in the streets, was the face of British colonialism and imperialism, trying to take over the world. How many millions of people dying from slavery and revolution? It makes no sense to me. Anyway, Ben shot, said that he saw me one time at a party, get in a street fight and be the most methodical and vicious street fight he'd ever seen. 3 jabs in the right hand, and it was over. Dana White, I missed my window, homeboy, brother from another mother. I missed my window in fighting. In 1991, Pat Burns, the 1996 U.S. Olympic coach, told me I was going to be ranked number 9 in the country at 201 pounds after I came back from Des Moines, Iowa, after a loss to Von Bean, who ended up fighting Michael Moore and Evander Holyfield for world titles. So I lost to Von Bean twice on 3-2 split decisions. I'm a white boy coming back to Florida, going to be ranked number 9 in the country. and I get Rodney King by the police down in Miami, in Coconut Grove to be specific. A cop was trying to clown me like I didn't box, and I told him it's not my fault that your mom and dad should have been spayed and neutered to prevent the lump of genetic shit sitting in front of me. And the cop went nuts, got up from his seat, walked around his desk, and punched me, who was sitting in a chair, handcuffed, punched me in the face. I fell out of the chair, hit the floor, start laughing, telling him I know bitches hit it harder than you, punk. And so he goes nuts and grabs my foot and cocks it like cease and desist. If you don't desist, I'm gonna fuck you up and wreck your knee. And he didn't stop. He wrecked my knee. I couldn't run for 6 months. And instead of continuing boxing, which Pat Burns said that I could do, I packed up my shit, got out of Florida, headed back to California, and asked my Uncle Fred Riva, the same uncle who handcuffed me when I was 8 years old, to a tree, standing on my tiptoes with my hands high above my head around a tree branch that was over my head for 4.5 hours. If we can get an attorney to sue. And he's like, well, get a job. And it's like, you motherfucker. As if he shouldn't have seen the potential of funding my lawsuit, another $20,000 at Notre Dame. The first $20,000 that my mom spent got Notre Dame's attorneys to advise Notre Dame to settle. Do you realize what a coup that is in terms of suing giants? That's like getting AT&T to throw up the white flag within $20,000 if you sue them. It just doesn't happen. The priest's testimony proved that those little bitches from St. Mary's were lying. My stereo wasn't playing so loud that her cries for help couldn't be heard, because I didn't try to rape her. Me, with a tiny grower penis, I could just imagine, not that I ever thought about it, but, oh yeah, the evidence, he had a tiny penis. Not that I think that rapists had big dicks, but that was the last thing that I would ever do, would be to try to rape a girl. It wasn't happening. I didn't need to attempt to rape a girl, to get a girl at that time. At that time, I realized that I was fairly good looking and had women fawning over me. So anyhow, where was I? I'm at 2357. I go around 25. Oh yeah. It doesn't matter how big my dick is, ladies. I discovered the fountain of orgasm for women, how to make you orgasm 2 and even 3 times a minute for even an hour or more. I've taken a woman who was raped and couldn't orgasm but once or twice in a 1-hour session to over 100, so many that she was exhausted, and we had to take breaks every 15 minutes or so to wet our lips and rejuvenate, or at least she did. I could have kept going straight, but her pelvis was coming off the bed to attack my face, and she was exhausted from pleasure. That's how it can be for every woman, and every woman can actually have a job that's making $50,000 or more when Dan Quinn is the richest man on the planet. And Dan Quinn would actually like to take advantage of that offer that Spider made of hooking up with his guy for marijuana or anything else I wanted to. I would hook up with anything but marijuana, but since marijuana is legal now in California, I'd like to hook up with the best deal that I can get and get pounds at like $600 or $700 a pound. That would be monumental. Yeah, Dan Quinn is going to change the world. Dan Quinn is going to rock the world. And it's going to all start as soon as I leave the hospital by making the Fountain of Orgasm for Women video. I'm looking for a woman who's willing to travel to Sacramento on her own dime. See, I'm not going to get catfished for gas money or a plane ticket from somebody who won't show up. But what I will do is use some of the $1,100 that I've accumulated here to reimburse the woman who does show up to Sacramento who wants to become world famous. Think that a video showing women how to come 2 and 3 times a minute for even an hour isn't going to go globally viral famous on OnlyFans. It's going to fucking go absolutely batshit crazy. I'm going to have people paying $5 to $10 a pop because I'm going to tell them that if they recruit 5 to 10 of their friends after I'm a billionaire from pure H2O, I'll pay them $50. So it's not like they're spending their money. They're just doing an investment to help me pay the violin and cold vision forward. Yeah. That's how it'll be. And to anybody out there that's thinking about doing me harm, you better bring a gun. I'm 6'3", 255. I'm a badass motherfucker, Tito Ortiz. And when I don't like somebody, I don't think about getting tired. I don't think about anything other than throwing punches as hard and fast as I can. So the fact that I saw you on Donald Trump's feed, the fact that I said you're an idiot, the fact that you came back and called me pedophilia, it's not pedophilia, idiot. If you call somebody pedophilia, you're looking dumb. You call them a pedophile, and only pedophiles call other pedophiles pedophiles. You're a fucking moron, and I would face you any place, any time, and fuck you up. I would make you bow down in front of me. You have no hands, fool. I've seen your fights. All you do is fucking take down and wrestle. So I might get my clothes fucked up, but make no mistake, I would fuck you up. You disgust me.